My goodness. Hi, everybody. It is Wednesday, September 23rd, the year 2020. I'm going to show you a look at the lake because it is unbelievably quiet out there today. Can you hear how quiet it is? It's just beautiful. The water is silent. It's quite a day. And I've already had quite a day. I had to get up and do an interview early today. We've got Bill McNichol here already. He's asking people to share, of course, because that's how an angel gets their wings. You know, if the year couldn't get any weirder, the things completely tend to go nuts. Well, first of all, we've got a guest today. I'm going to show you his picture again. This is Tom Morris. He's out on the road right now canvassing. I spoke to him briefly, but he knows we're going to be coming, that we're going to be talking to him. So, hopefully we'll be able to get him on the phone. I had a little bit of difficulty getting to him. So it took a little bit, but, and Cindy saw the interview. Yes, that was kind of fun. I'm glad you all got a chance to look at that. I have to set my phone up so that I can get, Tom connected to our broadcast. So we're going to call him in just a few moments. But we have things to do. We got things to do. And, there's all kinds of good and bad news. I'm going to decline that call. I just got a call. Technology has taken over our lives, and certainly has taken over mine. So lots to talk to you about today. Let's do the regular stuff we've got to do, which begins with the numbers. As predicted, my brother Bill Yates is here. Bill, so glad you're here. Do us a favor, share. Appreciate it. The numbers keep increasing. Remember how we noticed that on the weekends, the numbers tend to come down, but that's reporting difficulties. So notice we've popped right back at almost 1,000 deaths. Tragic for the families that are suffering them. 35,000 new cases. India, 80,000 new cases in one day. This thing is not under control. I'm not going to show you the states because it's all kind of spread out funny, and I think this graphic is a little bit more revealing. So this is new confirmed COVID-19 cases by day, United States. Notice the critical thing. We have started to climb up again. I've been calling it a third wave, that we're going to be in 30 days. It looks like we could be as high as we were on August 1st in terms of new cases. But what's worse, we really never got out of the first wave. So this wave is continuing. This initial wave we've never gotten over is now got a third wave within it. So this is really, really not good. I think that's just terrible to see. And there's been some discussion. You all know about this, that maybe we've been underestimating the deaths, that maybe we don't really know how many people have died by this, that we've been overestimating it. Well, one thing we could look at would be how many deaths did we expect this year? And there is a story about this in the New York Times today. Let's have a look at it. This says the toll since coronavirus struck 250,000 more deaths than normal. The official coronavirus death toll has reached 200,000, but an accounting of all the lives that were lost in the United States since mid-March shows that the pandemic and its resulting disruption have caused substantially more deaths. At least 250,000 more people have died than would have in a normal year, according to the New York Times analysis of estimates from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. This is again from the New York Times. Our analysis examines deaths from all causes, not just confirmed cases of coronavirus, beginning when the virus took hold. That allows for comparisons that don't depend on the availability of coronavirus tests, meaning sometimes people died before they could be tested. or the accuracy of cause of death reporting, meaning people might have made mistakes. What it shows is that we've seen staggeringly high death tolls. While nearly every state has seen death counts that are substantially higher than usual, there are a few states that haven't. And those two states that haven't are Alaska and Hawaii. Everybody else, we are seeing lots more deaths than we expected. And it looks like, if anything, we are undercounting these deaths. 250,000 people. You know, at 200,000 people, the virus was already the number 3 killer of people in the United States, behind heart disease and cancer. And I don't know which one of them is first, but we know that this is third, and it might actually become the number 1 cause of death. Got another story for you to look at. Have a look at this. And you know, we got a lot to cover, and I've got to call Tom Morris here in a moment. This is from Politico. And it says, Mitch McConnell may be driving American politics to the brink of insanity, but let's assume that the leader himself is entirely sane. There are 2 reasons why it would be rational for him to act on the Supreme Court in the way he has. One is that he expects his party to hold power for a very, very long time, that he's very, very confident. Who cares what the opposition thinks when it doesn't matter now, and it won't in the future? The other is that he expects to hold on to power for a very short time. Or at least he's keenly attuned to this possibility, and it believes that once power is lost, it's gone indefinitely. Under this scenario, it would make sense to lock in as many gains as quickly as possible for as long-term as possible. The enduring scorn of the opposition is an acceptable price to pay because of the long-term. The long-term contest is essentially over. Now, there's a lot more detail about this, and I may come back to it. But the point of this is, I want you all to understand we're at a very interesting moment here in the United States. I think the Republican Party may be finding itself out of power in the White House, out of power in the Senate, and I think wherever they are in the House, they are likely to lose some ground. And I think that this is one of these tidal wave shifts that goes on every 3 to 4 decades. You know, Republicans have been fairly dominant, you know, or been batting above their weight since Ronald Reagan. And it looks like that time period may be ending. Mitch McConnell's been in office for, 40 years, something like that. So fascinating that may be going on. So let's get a call to Tom Morris. I know that he's out canvassing right now. Let's see if I can get to him. And we may have to endure a little bit of torture. Oops, not that one. I don't want that number. I want this number. I almost called the junk mail number. So we're looking for Tom Morris. I'm going to move him over here a little bit.
Hello?
Tom.
Yes, sir.
It's Hank Linderman. How are you doing? That's a dangerous question, I realize.
I'm doing fine. Just sitting out here in the car in the midst of canvassing.
Now, so you're canvassing. First of all, let's tell everybody you're running for mayor in the lovely city of Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is the largest city in the 2nd District, right?
That's right.
And you're a write-in candidate. So
that's right.
Folks will have to write your name in. And, you know, every time I come to Bowling Green, I seem to run into you. You're very, very involved with the community.
Yes, I try to be.
So you're out going door to door. Are you knocking on doors and actually talking to people?
I am. I've got a mask, and I put my mask on, and I knock on the door, and then I stand back. And if someone comes to the door, I ask them for their support.
Well, that's great. How are the conversations going?
It's gone very well. Very well. I've been well received by a lot of people, met a lot of nice people, and met some old friends that I hadn't seen in a long time too. So it's gone well.
That is one of the best parts of running for office is you're not just running into friends, but making new friends, meeting all kinds of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Uh,
I even,
Go ahead.
I met a guy yesterday. He said he's going to vote for my opponent, but we still had a nice conversation. So even that's nice.
Yes, it is. It is very nice to speak to people. So, talk to me about issues that you believe are important, that are important in Bowling Green, and maybe, not everyone listening to this right now is familiar necessarily with Bowling Green. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about Bowling Green, and then talk to us about what issues are important to you as you run for mayor.
Okay, well, Bowling Green is, like you say, the largest city in your district, and it's the third largest city in Kentucky. We are 50 miles north of Nashville, Tennessee, so that has a big influence on us. We, if you want to go to the airport, you go to Nashville. So we are growing. We're, I think, one of the fastest growing cities in Kentucky, and we've got a lot of good things going on here. But I would like things to even go better. And so my big issues are environment. I'm advocate of clean energy, and I think that we need a 100% renewable energy ordinance, much like is on the docket in Louisville and many other cities in the country. We recently abandoned our recycling, and I would like to bring that back. Other than that, racial equity, we haven't had any terrible incidents like some other cities, but there is systemic racism, I believe, and Bowling Green's part of the system. So we need to address it, and I would like to make the employees workforce of Bowling Green look more like the residents of Bowling Green, racially and diversity wise. So that's one of my issues. Another thing, and it's a problem everywhere, is affordable housing. We have a lot of people who spend too large a percentage of their income on housing, and of course, we're landlocked. We don't have that. The only way we could grow outward is into the county. But I want to look at some zoning laws and see. I believe there are ways that we could improve our zoning laws and make it easier to build affordable housing here in Bowling Green. Another issue is that 27% of our population is below the poverty line, and that is that has lots of causes. Lack of good paying jobs is one of them, and I would like to see us bring in more jobs that pay a living wage, and work on attracting employers that pay a living wage.
If I can, I want to steer you back to racial inequality that are concerns. And as you said, there have been no Breonna Taylor type incidents in Bowling Green. In fact, the Bowling Green police, I'm assured by folks that are part of the Bowling Green Freedom Walkers and so on, that that the police in Bowling Green actually do a rather good job. And I think they've got a very good record in terms of solving homicides, for example. But the racial issues that get brought up involve, for example, the Shake Rag District, which is a historic district. It's traditionally African American, and it's under encroachment by gentrification. Those who want to develop the area, but it ends up taking away historic housing and historic buildings related to this, like I say, this African-American district, the Shake Rag district.
Yes, and there was another, just an incident within the last year where historically black area of town was slated to be demolished and a warehouse type building put there, and that was overturned. The African American community got together and they changed that. And there are positive things going on, but there's a history here in Bowling Green. There was a city called Jonesville, and back in the 50s, the university basically took that, and Jonesville is no more. So there's always that concern, and you know, the and just in general, all of the issues that society has seem like affect the African American community more severely. For example, poverty, health outcomes, and so you know, my platform is to not only address reconciliation, but to look at the root causes of some of these systemic problems that we have, and you know, address them at the root. You know.
Tom, I'm just curious, you know, it seems to be often be very important where you come from in local politics. And, you know, for example, I'm not from Grayson County. And in fact, my family moved around all over the place. So I can't swear to people, you know, I'm born and raised here in the 2nd District or anything. But I'm curious, have you been in Bowling Green for most of your life?
Oh, I can answer that. I could say probably half my life. It was the first 20 years of my life, and then I was gone for 30 years, and then I came back in 2012, and I've been here ever since. But this is my home. I went to high school here. I went to university here for a couple of years, and then I left to get an engineering degree, and I was gone for 30 years. But this is where I'm planning on staying. So.
Yeah, and I want to remind people, if you're not aware of it, Bowling Green is also the home of the Corvette, and it is the home of the Everly Brothers. They're from Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Right, and the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, too.
That's right, the Western Kentucky University, second largest university in the state, and the Hilltoppers. And, of course, at the top of the hill is Cherry Hall. It's the only university in the world with a cherry on top, is what I'm told.
Yes, and both my parents are graduates of Western. I attended Western. My brother attended Western, and Western is a big part of Bowling Green, and it makes Bowling Green, you know, Bowling Green would not be the same without Western. We are richly blessed to have Western.
Now,
Western here.
Where are you on in terms? I'm going to guess that you agree that there are man-made causes to the damage that's been done to the climate. What do you see Bowling Green doing in the future to deal with climate damage and to prevent full-out climate catastrophe?
Well, yes, I am fully convinced that climate change is human-caused and that it's real, and we must address it. I don't think we can prevent the damage that's the damage that's occurring now is baked in, and we're going to have to adapt. But I think that we need to get off of carbon-based fuels. And so that is one of the reasons that I think cities need to make a commitment, especially in the face of a lack of federal response. Cities need to make a commitment to get off of carbon-based fuels. And I just signed the no fossil fuel pledge today. And so I'm not taking any money from fossil fuel industries. It's a sad thing, because for years it was a great boon. Gasoline engines were wonderful, and now we understand that we have to move away from them.
That's funny, because Joe Biden, I think recently. Joe Biden recently was in an ad, and he was driving around his 60s Corvette that he owns, his Stingray. And he made comments about the Stingray and the Corvette, and said, and they're developing an electric one, which General Motors was not ready for anyone to drop that, but apparently that's in process. We haven't heard any more about it, except for them to say he wasn't supposed to say that. So that would be an interesting vehicle, I would think.
I have heard rumors, but and I think many people want that to happen, but I don't have any inside knowledge.
I've had people who work in landscaping, for example, and even farmers, say to me, I need power. When, I need a vehicle that can dig in and grunt. I don't see any way an electric vehicle can do that. Folks, if you have not driven or experienced an electric vehicle, you've got a big surprise coming. There are pickup trucks coming, one by a company called Rivian. It's 4-wheel drive. It will drive 400 miles. It has 700 horsepower. All of its torque is available at 0 RPM. It doesn't have to get wound out it will do the same work of a diesel or gasoline powered vehicle with power to spare. By the way, John Alma Barnett is watching and is saying hi, and mentioned that Nappy Roots is from Bowling Green, and referred to the Hilltopper mascot, Big Red, as being very, very famous. Well, Tom, thanks so much for being with us, and we certainly wish you luck. Thank you for stepping up to run from one candidate to another. I have some idea how difficult it is to do this, and I appreciate. Well,
thank you, Hank. We appreciate your being willing to devote your life basically to this endeavor. And your support of our district, and we appreciate it, and we wish you the best.
Well, thank you so much, Tom, and have a great day. Knock 'em dead. Go knock on some doors.
Okay. All right. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Take care.
Take care, Tom.
All right. Bye.
Oh, that was great. It was great to talk with Tom. Thanks so much, Tom, for taking a break. We could go back to that story, but there's some other good things I want to talk to you about in the few minutes that I have left. So I do want you to go and read that story from Politico about Mitch McConnell maybe driving American politicians to the brink of insanity. McConnell's on the losing side of history. That's the one. Read that. It's a great article on Politico. But now I want to talk to you about something else, and let's see. I've got something to show you, and it's going to be too big to fit on the screen. Let's see. Here we go. Can you see it? How am I doing? There we go. I'm getting there. This is a sign, a yard sign, that this is the first project. Hi, Nina. How are you? Good to see everybody. Remember to share. So this sign that you're looking at is, as far as I know, the first coordinated sign saying, let's vote Democratic. Let's not worry about our candidates. Let's just vote Democratic. Let's do the right thing here. And this is a project that came out of efforts to organize the 2nd District. So let's have a look at what that means. So we had a group of people that that included Rich Campbell from the band America. Rich designed the sign, and I'll have to show the other side of it. Well, you'll see the other side of it. So this is my vehicle, my Chrysler Pacifica minivan, union made, folks, because I'm supported by the union. Anyway, these are, I had already gotten rid of a bunch of the signs at this point, so this is really not even a fair picture. I think at this point I'm down to 600 signs. I had already taken 400 out by the time I took that picture. And I delivered to, first to Louisville, and I don't have the sign of Virginia Woodward, but I don't have that sign. Let's see if I can find it. I might be able to find it. Let me see if I can. I think I can. Let's see. I know this is just fascinating for you while I dig through to look for my picture that I want. But I'm going to find, I just found it. Here's Virginia Woodward. She is the chair of the Jefferson County Democratic Party. And she's got the other side shown. Now look at that side. Notice that the other side, of course, is this, right? Had enough, but the other side has a blank space. And the purpose of that is for you to write in your own message. So, for example, we had some suggestions. One of them was, bless your heart, vote Democratic, or vote for the environment, vote Democratic, vote for justice, vote Democratic. And someone suggested one that I think I like the most. I won't tell your spouse, vote Democratic. I won't tell your wife. I won't tell your husband, vote Democratic. Anyway, so there's Virginia with that sign. So back to, that's what the car looked like. I first went to, let's see. After dropping them off in Jefferson County, then I went to Bardstown. This is Tom Hart, and he's got one of the signs. And we dropped signs off there to be delivered to other counties. So that was fun. This was all day yesterday. That's why I was so tired yesterday. Then, let's see, where did I go? I went to Elizabethtown, to Hardin County. I actually went just south. That's Tony York, and he's out in front of his restaurant there, Tony York's on Main. Great restaurant. Oh, Barbara Ticci is suggesting, be smart, vote Democratic.
Now wait just a damn minute.
I agree. I think that's a good one. I like that. And so anyway, that's Tony York, who's a great Democrat, and I believe he's on the executive committee down there in Hardin County. Mary Richardson says, change needed, vote Democratic. Yes, indeed. This is Kathy Severns. Kathy is one of the activists in Warren County, which is where Bowling Green is, and Tom Morris is from Warren County. We just spoke with Tom, so that's Kathy from Bowling Green. And here is Barb Bennett, who is on the executive committee in Davis County. That's where Owensboro is. So yesterday, I drove roughly 275 miles. So we got another one. Stop the madness, vote Democratic. I like this. You know, maybe what we should do is post one of these. We'll just post the graphic, and you all we'll try putting in some of your suggestions. Maybe Rich and I can do that. So stop the madness is good. Be smart, vote Democratic. Bill McNichol says push the damn D. There you go. So anyway, that's this project is such a wonderful and important thing because it signifies a bunch of things. It recognizes that the 2nd District, let's show you the 2nd District again. There's the 2nd District. This district has not been organized for about 20 years, so we are reorganizing, and the first project we've done is that sign, and I think that that's a fantastic thing. So it indicates that we're reorganizing. Now let's go back to that sign, that district. We were distributing these signs. Some went to Henderson County, which is in the 1st. A bunch went to the 2nd. And we also got some signs in Louisville, even though it's the smallest physical size, it is that's the only Democratic district in the state. So it's already in 3 districts, and I believe it's going to spread into the 6th and hopefully the 4th and the 5th. I think this is a very, very powerful, powerful thing. Okay, tomorrow we have the return, the long-awaited return of
Greg Adams, good Dr. Adams, ask Dr. Greg.
Dr. Greg is going to be here tomorrow, and he's going to be talking, I believe, about physician burnout, which is a very, very real thing. There's some other stories I'm going to want to talk about. As we said, we've gotten the one of the 3 officers involved in the Breonna Taylor incident was indicted, I don't believe for murder, but indicted for wanton misbehavior or something like that. And unfortunately, his misbehavior did not include shooting Breonna Taylor. Apparently that was not what they were charging him with. So there's going to be some fallout from that. Of course, this is far from what folks who are out on the streets chanting "no justice, no peace." This is not justice. So I'm sure we'll be talking about that. There's another alarming story that you may want to look at, that there's a possibility of President Trump preventing the counting of the election long enough to force the election into the House of Representatives. Pam says it's wanton endangerment is the charge for the one officer. Anyway, President Trump is looking like he's maneuvering to delay the acceptance of the vote long enough to push the election into the House of Representatives, where each state gets 1 vote. And what that means is President Trump would be reelected. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow. That's a nightmare scenario. I hope this makes it clear to you that this is no time to relax. Now, I also have some good news. I can feel change occurring. Change is occurring on the ground. I can feel it. It's not going to be as easy as we want, and it requires your efforts. You're going to need to vote. You're going to need to be sure you're registered to vote. You're going to need to get your friends to vote. You're going to need to help people vote. You're going to need to contribute to cabinet, to candidates like me. By the way, Barbara Tichy again contributed. No one has contributed more often than Barbara Tichy, and Barbara, what a great example. So please do us a favor and send us $5, $10, anything, but please contribute. Also this weekend, of course, we are going to begin the process of some online campaigning and fundraising. And I'm having musicians send, we have a lot of musicians who are going to be part of this, and some of them are, all of them are incredible musicians, but some of them are rather well known. They are all very talented. So, for example, Mark Andes from Spirit, from Heart, from Firefall will be there. Jerry Goodman from the Mahavishnu Orchestra, from the Dixie Dregs, will be there. John Edwards, who sang for Foreigner, has already said he's going to be part of it. So we're going to have a lot of wonderful talent, and we'll be starting to do that this weekend. All right. Well, I think it's time to show the picture of Godzilla and remind us all we need to go Godzilla on this virus. And also, it is time for us to remember that, you know, just because we're getting angry does not give us the right to act like damn fools. You use your anger to focus yourself. With your anger and your courage, you can do the right thing. We all need to do that. Do the right thing. I love you all. I will see you tomorrow, and thanks for being a part of this. See you later.